guys, it's Ellen, and today I'm going to be doing my video on camp. This is going to be your camp survival guide girl style. Are you ready? Do you like my little captain voice? Okay, so one of the first things that you're going to do before you go to camp is obviously pack your bag, which I feel like is a major part in camping. It's you know, kind of what you have to live off of while you're there. Especially if you're in a tent, that's kind of like a whole nother thing. And the camp that I went to was actually a week-long camp, or that I go to, I'm going to it again this year, is a week-long camp, and we are in tents. And it rains, it's cold, it's windy, it's actually not cold at all, it was pretty hot, but still, that's kind of like the worst conditions, unless you're like sleeping outside with no tent. But a lot of camps are actually in cabins. So this kind of like little list is going to fit for a lot of people. And this, I'm not going to name everything that you're going to need to bring to camp, because obviously you're going to pick like what shirts and pants and shorts and like everything like that you're going to bring. This is just a few like major points that I want to point out to you to make sure that you don't forget, because if you do forget these things, your life might be a little rough for the next week. So my first tip is to pack light. Not extremely light to the point where you're like completely minimalistic, but don't pack way too much. The first year that I went to camp, I kind of overpacked. I did take way more than I needed, way more many outfits and stuff like that, and like the truth is, unless you completely sweat or soak and stuff, you can rewear the same shirt like twice, you know, if you're staying there for a week or something like that. So don't pack like your entire wardrobe with you, because you're not going to have enough room. And trust me, especially if you're in a tent, if you have your bag there and you're trying to dig through stuff and it's crammed and it's small, you're just not going to have enough room to be going through your bag, to be sorting everything out. It's just kind of crazy. So try not to pack way too much. My next tip, and I did this last year and it was so helpful, like you have no idea, is to get a gallon bag, like a gallon Ziploc bag, and put each outfit in there. You can use like a plastic grocery store bag too, but I feel like the gallon bags are a little more structured so they fit better in your bag. And so what you can do in there is just stick, you know, if you're wearing like the underwear that you're going to wear, it just makes it so much easier. So you could like grab the bag, go to the bathroom and change really quick. Or if you're changing in your tent, you know, that works too. But put in there your shirt and your pants and your underwear and, you know, everything that you're going to wear for that day. And you don't necessarily have to label it, because honestly when you're there you're not going to be like looking like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're not really going to care. You're just going to want to grab an outfit and get out and, you know, get back to camp and spend less time like sorting through your bag and organizing stuff, because that's like the last thing that you're going to want to do when you're at camp trying to have fun. The next thing, I don't know how your guys' camp runs and stuff like that, but we had an actual like shower and bathroom and stuff, and I feel like that's pretty standard, even though we were staying in tents, that we did have a shower and a bathroom. So what I did for that, and it helped out so much, is I put all of my toiletry stuff in one bag that I could just take with me to the bathroom. That includes all my shower stuff, my toothbrush, my hairbrush. If you're going to be putting any makeup on, which is, I'll get to that topic later, anything like that that you're going to use in the bathroom, just put it all in one bag, so that way if you're taking like a bathroom trip, like even in the middle of the night, or if you're going to shower, you can just grab your bag and go and you're all set. On the note of supplies, girls, this is kind of a girls' camp survival guide, so I feel like this isn't awkward to fit in there. Make sure you are ready. If you know that you're going to be on your monthly cycle, make sure you are like prepared for that. That would be terrible if you were at camp and you weren't. And even if you're not, I would recommend taking something anyway, just so you're not in that situation, like, you know, maybe it's a surprise, and so you're not in that situation. And that would be pretty terrible if you don't have anything with you to take care of yourself at that time. That would not be good. But I also recommend taking a first aid kit. And now most camps, they give you like a guide of like everything that you're going to want to bring with you, and this is pretty much always on there. And it's actually usually required too, which I think is really great, because it's kind of necessary. You should definitely have a first aid kit with you, and I would recommend, if you are taking a backpack with you, which is what I would do, is carry a backpack on you all day long, and you can put everything that you're going to need for there in the day. So if there's like a beach or something like that, you can put your towel in there. Another thing you're going to want to put in there is your first aid kit. Being in the woods or any woodsy camping environment, you could easily fall and trip and, you know, like break something or just start bleeding, or it's always really good to have a first aid kit with you. Also make sure it has like aspirin in it, or like Advil or whatever, Tylenol. Take your pick. You know, just some painkillers, some like typical first aid kit stuff. If you don't already have a first aid kit, I know I went to Target last year to go get mine, and Target has some really great ones. They have kind of like a build your own that I know that you can do, or at least they did last year. or you can just buy like a standardized first aid kit. On the side of clothing to your packing experience, like what clothes you're actually going to want to bring, I would recommend it, like if it's in the summer, this is usually like a summer camp, like I've never heard of a winter camp, you're going to want to bring shorts. If it gets cold at night where you're going, like if you're going up the mountains, definitely bring some sweatpants, maybe bring a pair of jeans if you want to, but I would definitely stick to the shorts. And another thing with shorts, or actually any of the clothing, I don't know if your camps have dress codes, but I know a lot of camps do, so like, you know, make sure that your clothes are like fitting the requirements of the dress codes at the camp. I actually also find it so much more comfortable anyway, if you're going camping, to wear at least like knee-length shorts or something like that. That's actually what my camp requires. But I think I would do that anyway, because if you're like sitting down on like a log or something, or you have to sit on the ground, maybe you forgot your chair or something like that, I don't know. I mean, it's camp. It's so much more comfortable to not have to sit like your bare skin on a log and like get your legs all scratched up. So, you know, it's still shorts, but your body's still protected. Also, another thing, I told you not to overpack, but one thing that I think that you should definitely overpack on is underwear and socks. I feel like you can never have too many underwear and socks. Let's just say you did get your monthly surprise, yay! Or, you know, you were walking around outside and it started raining, so your socks got soaked. It's just something that, you know, having to re-wear would be extremely uncomfortable. So it helps you feel a lot more like dry and clean. You know, being clean at a camp, by the end of camp, everybody is usually like sticky and gross. I mean, even though you take showers, I feel like everybody just kind of gets like bleh by the end of camp. But that is something that you should definitely have enough with you, because it's hygienic and it'll definitely make you feel better. If you are supposed to bring a bathing suit, I would recommend bringing two, just because if you go, you know, to the pool or the beach or, you know, whatever your camp has one day, and then you want to go later that day or the next day and your suit is still wet, I just feel like putting on a wet suit is super uncomfortable. I mean, I've had to do it before, and it's not like the worst thing in the world, but I would definitely recommend doing that. And also on the note of bathing suits, bring a shopping bag, like a grocery bag, like from the grocery store or something like that, or Target, you know, whatever, to throw your bathing suit in, because if it's still wet, then you can throw it back in your bag without it like getting all your other clothes wet. I would also recommend bringing 2 pairs of shoes, whether it's 2 sneakers or 1 pair of sneakers and hiking boots. Usually camps don't allow flip-flops, which I think is actually pretty good, because, you know, I don't know, like at first I was like, we're not allowed to have flip-flops, but it's kind of good, because you don't want to be walking around like in the woods in flip-flops. Though you do want to bring a pair of flip-flops for the showers. I don't know how your showers are, but it's usually the campgrounds don't always have like the cleanest, prettiest showers, so it's definitely a lot more hygienic to go to the shower with your flip-flops on. And make sure it's not like an expensive pair, like just, you know, it's a rec flip-flops from like Old Navy or something like that. Also, as far as packing all this stuff together, I would definitely recommend putting it all in a duffel bag, because I feel like if you're bringing a suitcase or a trunk or something like that, putting that in your tent is just kind of ridiculous. And a duffel bag is like mendable. You could use it as a pillow if you had to. I mean, I would recommend bringing a separate pillow, but like, you know, if you had to, it's a lot comfier and not as like chunky. And you know, when you're in your tents, you will find that you do not have enough space. No matter how big and luxurious your tent is, it's always kind of tight, especially if you have like tent mates and stuff like that. It gets cozy. But I mean, if you're going to one of those like 1-month camps with cabins and like all that fancy stuff, then you know, feel free to take that, or I don't know, just like listen to what your camp recommends. If you're going to like a big camp with a cabin, take a suitcase or a trunk. But if you're going to live in a tent for a week, you don't want to completely overpack and bring a huge trunk. As far as makeup, I know a few girls asked like if girls at camp wear makeup every day. Maybe if it's a co-ed camp, maybe people do more. I've never been to a co-ed like overnight camp kind of thing. I don't even know if those exist actually. But as far as like the camps that I've been to, the girls don't really wear makeup. Some girls do, but it's kind of like, I don't know. The some girls that do, it's very minimal makeup. So like, definitely do not pack your entire makeup collection. You will look kind of crazy. And honestly, if you're sweating and sticky and you're just doing camp stuff. You're not going to be like looking glamorous with like fake eyelashes and all this different types of eyeshadow. Just be reasonable. If you want to bring like a powder, like I'm going to bring a powder and a mascara and this little like under eye roller type thing, and that's it really, because every day you're not going to want to wake up in the morning and put makeup on in your tent. It's just not comfortable. But again, that is a personal choice. So if you do want to bring a lot of makeup, then I guess you could, but this is all just my recommendations. So I feel like packing is the more girly side of camp, and then when you actually get there, like your tent and everything like that, I do have a few recommendations about that too. This isn't as girly and fun, but it's still very good tips if you're going to a camp with a tent or anywhere that you're going to be rooming with somebody. If you are sharing a tent with one other person, last time I went to camp, I actually shared a tent with 2 other people. There were a total of 3 of us there, and it was, you know, a little tight considering we're in a tent, and it actually rained a lot while I was there. So that's another thing. If you are in a tent, make sure you have a rain guard on. I feel like a lot of the adults and like administrators and stuff like that at the camp are gonna like pretty much take care of that and make sure that you are like equipped if it's raining. But if not, make sure you have a rain guard for your tent. But about the space, you want to make sure that you're not being an obnoxious tent mate, roommate, cabin mate, whatever, you know, whatever you're going to call it. You want to make sure that you are only using your space, you're not taking up all of their space. If you're sleeping in a tent and sleeping bags and stuff like that, make sure you're not like rolling on them during the night. And I know sometimes if you like kick and sleepwalk and stuff like that, because that could be a little bit difficult. And I sleepwalk, by the way, so if you sleepwalk, you're not the only one. But, you know, try to be, like, to yourself and not try to totally, like, kill their side of the tent, because they probably won't like you very much. Also, if you are sleeping in a tent, in a sleeping bag, you're going to want to make sure that you sleep uphill. Like, if you are sleeping downhill, all the blood is going to kind of, like, rush to your head, and you're going to get, like, lightheaded in your sleep, and you're probably not going to sleep as well. It's going to be super uncomfortable. Which I know can be annoying sometimes if your head's like at the zipper of the tent, but try to sleep with your head uphill. It's just a lot comfier. I don't know. I mean, if you want to sleep with all the blood, it like rush to your head, I mean, feel free. Also, there are these little off bug spray things, but it's not like a bug spray like usual with like the aerosol spray and stuff like that. Although you are going to want to have that too for your body. But only take 1, because last year I took 2, and I didn't even use like half of the first one. I mean, I used a lot, but I still didn't, like, I didn't need 2 full cans of it. It was just kind of ridiculous. But there are these little clip-on things that you usually put like on your pants, on your jacket, or something like that. And they're meant to go on your body, but that's really good for putting in your tent, because it kind of keeps away like the mosquitoes at night, so you're not like getting bit like crazy, even though you zip up your tent. Somehow animals find their way in there, and I don't know how. So that is a big recommendation if you don't want a tarantula walking across your face while you're sleeping. I don't know. Just wake up and it's like fuzzy eyes are in your face. Ew, that's gross. Anyway, my very last tip of the video is to bring flashlights. Flashlights are a very good idea, because you're probably going to have to take night trips to the bathroom, and trust me, when you are out in the middle of the woods, I mean, you walk outside at night in your house. I learned about this in English, and I don't know why I learned about this in English, but I learned about it in school. You walk outside at night, and there's like lights reflecting in the sky from all the houses around, and like there's, you know, like ambient light sources all around you. But when you're in the middle of the woods with nothing, like no light from houses to like reflect to the sky, it is pitch black and you cannot see a thing. I mean, unless your camp is like lined with lights or something like that, but ours was seriously just like in the woods. So you're definitely going to want to bring a flashlight, and I brought a headlamp. Now I know that those are so dorky. It's like one of the little things that goes on your head like that, and it's so ugly, but really, when you're at camp, I don't know, everybody kind of just forgets about the ugliness and dorkiness factor of everything that we're doing. But it's seriously so helpful, because you don't have to like hold it in your hand, and if you're just like walking, you don't have to hold anything. So a headlight is like, that was like the biggest thing that I loved having at camp last year. It's such a big help. So I know this video wasn't exactly very beauty related and everything like that, but I know last year I did my Target camp haul, which if you want to watch, I will link down below. So I know that wasn't like a super girly video that I just did, but I don't know. I got a lot of requests for it, and that video got quite a few views, and I feel like right before I went to camp, I was looking up a lot of camp videos, and I really wished that there was a video like this. So hopefully somebody looking up stuff for camp would find this video, and I hope that it helps you all. And if you are going to camp, I hope you have a great time, because camp can be super fun. Don't be like a downer, because I know I took my one friend to camp with me, and she watches my videos too. She's actually my best friend, so I'm allowed to say this about her, but she was so miserable at camp. It's not her fault because it was really sticky and a little gross outside, but you know, just have fun, and I hope you all enjoy your camp experiences, and if you're not going to camp, you just learned a lot that you didn't even know. Thank you all for watching this video. I'll see you on my next one. Bye!